What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live stream. Welcome, crew member. My name's Lewis, also known as MrCameraJunkie. If you're new here, make sure to make yourself known in the description or, in the comments below, or join us in chat if you catch this live. And like I remind everyone every week, upgrade your skills before your gear. So today we're going to be talking about that in particular, in the simple fact. Okay, bring that down. Started to get notifications already because we're live. We got things started already. Well, as I was saying, welcome. Actually, I'm over here seeing this. This is not what I'm supposed to be seeing. Perfect. Okay, so I can see who's in chat. Okay, hopefully the music is coming in good and that I'm also clear. I'm gonna try to bring down the music a little bit. Okay, so things are going and we're rocking and rolling. So here we are. Welcome to everyone. Today I'm going to be going through my behind the scenes look. This is has been a little bit inspired by Keith Pelsner, because as we lovingly call him 10 Camera Keith. He's got a lot of different camera angles, so I've been slowly just implementing everything. And the latest iteration that I have of this is my new Keith inspired camera. So let me see if I can get to it. Boom. So this is a shot now of the behind the scenes. This is the latest setup that I've been able to set up. This angle is actually a iPhone XR that I have as a spare phone. The screen is all buggy and it drives me crazy, so I don't use it as a phone. Turn off the air conditioning there. Okay, but yes, I was able to connect it with the Elgato Epoch Cam app, and it's actually working very well. But this is giving you an illustration of what I see as a behind the scenes, and because it's completely wireless, it actually gives me the ability to bring it down and get a little bit more in depth here, so I can show you step by step of exactly what I'm doing with my system here. So give me a thumbs up if the audio is coming in good, and that way we can get rocking and rolling. Okay, so here we have Randall saying hello right off the bat. He's saying comparing the A6100 and the ZFC and the Z50 tomorrow. All of those are Nikon cameras, so he's probably going to be doing a live. I'm going to see if I am able to catch that. That's going to be really good. He's giving the thumbs up. He says worried about the weather though, rain and hurricane. To be honest, I really do not watch the news at all, so I really don't stay up on the weather unless it's really, prevalent to South Florida. So, okay, so somebody just bought me some coffee. Oh, Doc Rock. Whoa, Doc Rock bought me 60 coffees? I don't even know what that is. Oh my God, thank you. That's amazing. That's wow. Wow. Okay. All right, so let's that's amazing, Doc. Thank you so very much. I so appreciate it. I am without words right now. So thank you. So Heather's in the house. What's up, Heather? And Doc Rock saying what it do. Tech Audit TV. Hi, how are you doing? I believe this is your first time here to the stream, and like I said before, make sure you say hello to everyone here in chat. and they'll give you the good welcome. Everyone here is the Camera Junkie crew. So if you also have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, and we're gonna get through them. Everyone's saying hi to everyone. Says, are your dogs watching? Randall is asking about Ben and Finley. Those are Heather and Tom's dogs. I've been meaning to ask, is all your music from Epidemic? Do you have a specific playlist or artist you use? Not specific artist, but yes. First of all, let me answer that. All of my music is from Epidemic Sound. I basically have replaced all of my music that I would listen to on my normal day-to-day with Epidemic Sound. I was talking to Doc Rock not too long ago, which is funny that I said, even if I were to go out, like socially right now, like to a nightclub, I would know none of the music that's out there secularly. But if you had Club Epidemic, like I'd be there because I know like artists and things like that from Epidemic Sound way more than I would know anything from secular music. Dylan Sitz, I believe, is who we're listening to right now. And that's just off the top of my head because he's one of my favorites for music just like this, just repeated songs. But I also do have a playlist with, I believe, around 7 hours of Epidemic music. So if that's something that you're interested in, just let me know. And Tom, I will definitely shoot that over to you so that you can check out, the artists that I actually have saved on Epidemic. But yeah, when I actually started using Epidemic Sound, this is just a little tip for anyone who's thinking about doing something like this for their channel themselves. The way that I really looked at it was that we, as consumers, we sit here and we can listen to the radio and we can listen to all the music that's given to us for free, and we consume it and we make it part of ourselves, and that's where we get our celebrities and our music artists. And from there, we share it with our friends. But if you were to take that time that you're listening to that music in your car and all of the music that you're listening to from the radio, for a fact as a creator on the platform that you cannot use it in your videos. So if it's Cardi B or whoever it is that you could be listening to, that goes to show you that's probably like the last person who I know was popular. Or anyways, whoever it is that you could be listening to on your radio, for a fact that you're going to have copyright issues, claims, and so on and so forth if you try to use that music in your videos. So when I started getting serious with my channel here, one of the biggest things was I knew that I had to make that shift. So I canceled my Apple Music account, I canceled my Spotify, and anything that I would be paying just like $10-15 a month to have music conveniently given to me, but nothing that I would be able to actually use myself for my videos. And I stopped listening to that music entirely because it wasn't so much that it was like negative or anything, it's just the fact that I could not do both. I could not spend the time recognizing the music that I would like on a platform like Epidemic while also listening to regular music on the radio. So I turned off my radio and now I listen to Epidemic Sound music through the Wi-Fi on my phone in my car while I drive around. And when I hear a song that I like, I make sure that I put it on my playlist. And that's where the advantage really comes in, that I'm able to build a playlist that right now is up to 7 hours long, that whenever I decide to make a YouTube video, I just listen to that same soundtrack, a lot of the songs that we're listening to right now, during my edits. And usually while I'm in the middle of an edit, a song kind of just like jumps out and I'm like, oh, that fits perfectly with what I'm doing here. And before you know it, I already have the music laid out for the video that I was editing. So that's part of my workflow when it comes to Epidemic Sound and music and my videos, and I highly recommend it. If you're a channel like me that's under 1,000 subscribers and you happen to have TubeBuddy, you can combine those two, and I think I end up paying like $11 for Epidemic Sound a month, which is ridiculous because they have so much great music, really good artists that could you can find them on the secular radio anyway, but the music that you hear, you're instantaneously able to use it for your videos. So that advantage right there was just the biggest selling point for me, and that's when I was like, I'm all in on Epidemic Sound, and it's been absolutely worth it. A lot of really good artists, Oi, like I said, Dylan Sitz, and the best part is that even if I hear a song where, me particularly, I don't like too many lyrics in the songs because they tend to just skew an idea away from the actual sound that you like. So Epidemic also gives you the ability to download the song in stems, allowing you to remove the vocals and just use the music. So there's a lot of songs on my playlist that I have done exactly that, or downloaded the version that doesn't have the vocals applied, the instrumentals. Okay, so Randall's still saying hi. I'm getting backtracked over here on the comments. Tom says they're on the couch with us. So those are the dogs. Dr. Elo's in the house saying Dímelo. Hi to everyone. Randall has his dogs on his lap. I see BTS and I click. Well, we're gonna get to it. That's cool, man. I'm still setting everything up. Pretty soon, the next thing that I'm gonna have is a cough button. So if I need to cough, actually, let me see. Oh yeah, it works, but it just cuts off the music as well. Okay, so we'll get to that. Says 2 doctors in the house. Todd Killian's in the house. How you doing, sir? Says love the behind the scenes. It says cool angle. You've got a lot of lenses. Yes, those are my vintage lenses that I got up here. Let me see about going back to that. So yes, up here, this is my vintage lens collection. I love vintage lenses, and that's actually one of the reasons why I picked up a Fuji camera, because they have film simulations, and the film simulations now allow me to use a lot of these lenses. Like this one right here is a Helios f2 58 millimeter. That one's this is the 44 M2, which is a highly sought after lens. And this is also my Nikon 50 millimeter. I always pull out my Nikon 50 millimeter because I absolutely love that lens. Like I rivaled it next to this lens right here, which this is the Sony 55 millimeter f1.8, and this lens is my favorite for the Sony system. And I have a video on my channel where I'm talking about this lens, and I had to compare it to that one because they're like neck and neck when it comes to portraits and sharpness. Absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm glad you guys are liking the new angle. Like, it's a lot of fun, and the fact that it's wireless and it's a phone, and that really goes to show you as well that you can get started with just a phone, and the way the technology is now, it really is pretty advanced. Okay, Randall says audio is good, but the music is a little high. I'm gonna try to bring it down a little bit on the gain. So thank you for that information. So Dr. Elo's getting pumped up, saying caffeine addict. Yo, I just had a cup of coffee before I got started. Tom saying hi to Dr. Elo. Says the prom committee's in the house. You see, I absolutely love this. Everybody's just saying hi to that. Doc saying, I love Dylan's tracks, right? Like, once I found him, I quickly hit the 2 little circles that started bringing me a lot of content on the Epidemic platform that is very similar to him, and that's when I was quickly able to really build out my my playlist on Epidemic, but right now I really don't listen to anything else. Okay, so Tech Audit TV. If you can let me know your name, I'd appreciate it so I could address you that way. But right now I'm just gonna call you Tech. So he says Epidemic and Stream Beats is all that anyone needs. Yeah. But the thing is that, we can pay $10 for Apple Music, and everything that you listen to it, you can't use on your channel. And you can pay $10 to $15 of Epidemic, and everything that you use, you can use for your channel, and some of it maybe even commercially, depending on how you want to use it. Yep. So Heather's saying Epidemic is the best. I would have to concur. Doc says that's right. Small sacrifice for a betterment and bigger gains later. Absolutely. And the biggest thing with me is not only, the money has to do with it, because we can spend a lot of, money monthly on a bunch of little transactions that we end up not using or not maximizing. And the fact that, I just physically did not have the time or the mental capacity to listen to the radio and have the time to really give Epidemic a real shot on to explore the music that's on that site. And once I made that shift, it really made all the difference. And I can't tell you how many times prior to Epidemic Sound I'm just gonna say I would waste my time on the website or the YouTube channels that no copyright sound, NCS and stuff like that. Like, you can use their music, but the thing about Epidemic as well is that it's so well curated, and the fact that you can find similar songs like that and just keep getting more music that's right up your alley. It's really hard to do that with the YouTube system and all the music that's available for no copyright sound, because you're gonna spend hours and hours listening to music that's not even your style, and you're just combing through it to try to see if that's a song that you might like. And that's where I highly recommend you not wasting your time doing that. When with Epidemic, it makes things so much easier. I am all up 100% for having an Epidemic Sound application for Android or iPhone, either one, whichever is easiest. I don't care. Just make it an app so that I can just listen to it on my phone and just my favorite songs, put them to my playlist, and you will have a faithful patron with me. Peter says, I've texted you a few times today, Randy. Do you know where your phone is? Oh, I think he's just messing with him. Says, yep, I'm home. I wish Epidemic had a mobile app like Spotify. We're on the same page, man. We're on the same page, because I just said that. I was like, I didn't even read that comment, and I'm like, absolutely. I just wish they had an app. And if it was, I'm just solid. It'll be done. So Doc is laughing at Peter. Doc did mention this to me. He says they have an app called Spaces, but apparently it's not really good. It's not really good. Says one problem at a time. Peter just found my glasses. So we're having fun here in the chat. Oh, he says, check out Sarah the Instrumentalist on Epidemic. I do have some of her tracks. I couldn't remember, but yes, I do have Sarah the Instrumentalist. That's why I think, we have a lot of similar songs in our Epidemics playlist. It says, found I had the 4G off, getting the messages now. So everyone's just talking to each other. It says, let's be clear, okay? Let's be clear. This is the Tom Tom angle for those of you who don't know, okay? Inspired by Tom Buck and his Canon EOS R with the 50 millimeter, and also Keith Pelsner and Tina with the Let's Be Clear. Absolutely love it. And here we have the Pelsner cam. That's what I'm calling it right now. The Pelzer cam. Right? That's exactly how you say it. Pelzer cam. So Keith, this one's for you, bro. And as you can see, actually we can get started with a little bit of the behind the scenes here. Let me make sure that we're up to date. Let me go back to here. Mojo Jam Tracks is in the house. I did have a great week. I hope yours was great as well. I'm glad to see you here. He goes, everyone has a Tom Cam. The influence is big with you, sir. And that's the whole thing, you know. Influence. That could be a whole different conversation, because it doesn't take thousands upon thousands of subscribers for you to have influence. For example, I was able to influence Tom Buck last week to better utilize his Stream Deck, so that's always amazing. He goes, everybody calls me Tech, but if you prefer names, you can call me Brandon. Well, I'm good with that, and everyone here knows, but you know, if I do forget, don't beat me up, but I always try to do my best to remember people's names. So nice to meet you, Brandon. I'm Lewis, MrCameraJunkie, and you know, and you're Tech Audit TV, so I might still call you Tech, you know, if that's your name. There's another Lewis here that stops by. I think he's doing a Twitter Spaces right now. It's Tech for Your Needs. His name is also Lewis, or Luis like me, and we call him Nano. That's his nickname. Peter Gregg is saying, good one. Heather says, I overheard the preview of your album. I can't wait to hear the whole thing. Oh, we're talking about Peter's album. Yes, his little preview that he gave us on Friday, yesterday actually. It was very good. Impartial Geek, David Foster's in the house. What's up, bro? I think that might be a little too loud now, so let me bring that down. Boom. Seeming that the music's lower. It says, put up your Epidemic referral link while you're chatting about it to everyone during the stream. You know what? Let me do that. I tend to forget those things. Thank you very much, Doc. I appreciate it. Let me do this real quick. Boom. Okay, I believe it's copied, and now I go here. Boom. Okay, that totally skipped my position in the chat. Okay, so I found it. Okay. Says, I agree, check out it. I listen to that stuff when I drive. Everybody's still saying hi to each other. I absolutely love this. This is just like everybody saying hi to each other, saying hi to Doc Rock, saying hi to Tom Buck. It says, I like the Tom Buck side angle so much, I got one too. Look at that. David is asking, is the Pelzer cam mounted to a shoe? It's mounted to a little vlogging tripod that I kind of created out of just a phone clip, a little mini tripod, and an articulating arm. I'll bring that out in a little bit so I can show you. So it's literally just on top of a shelf there, and it's just mounted. So, but I got the angle so nice that, you know, I'm gonna bring it down once I start talking about my particular items here, because even though I've been able to amass my live stream setup, what I've also been able to do is use a lot of items that I wasn't using before. Like all of my sound effects come from a third generation iPad that is like, it's still functioning, but it's broken. Had no real use for it, but I didn't want to just create more e-waste, and now it's my soundboard. So, and I'm able to just mix all of that in, and now it serves a purpose, and it's part of my live streams. Okay, so I checked on using their tracks in a CD. Guess how much? $2,000. I don't think they want to use it. Well, I guess that they're really giving you the license as if you were going to make a commercial, which it is. So, but I didn't think it would have been that steep. He says, I don't have a Tom Buck cam yet. I have to get my slider set up. Says Lewis, you're not missing the days when Windows would reboot the system. Not at all. And for those of you who don't know, because that's part of this conversation is my live stream setup, there was a time where I was running OBS and Windows would decide to reboot once we hit like past midnight on the stream, and it would just do it whenever it want. And a lot of times I was in the middle of my stream, so I could have been talking to you like this and it just clicked off and leaves everyone hanging, and I'm over here just trying to get back online, waiting for the computer to boot up. Like, I'm glad that it was a fast computer that allowed me to get back in it, but it did it so many times. And now with Mac computers, it hasn't happened once. Charles is here. How are you doing, sir? Welcome. Peter Gregg, I did not know you did music. He's doing music, David. It's actually his debut album, and it's something that, you know, we're really excited about. I know I am. Peter Gregg hosts a live stream every Friday night. He does a lot of singing, and he's also been plagued with some copyright strikes just because he's singing songs, a lot of them which are still available, you know, to be, you know, I forget the word about it right now, where you're able to use them without copyright issues. And now he's actually creating his own Christmas album, which is also going to give him the ability to sing his Christmas songs on his live streams without having to worry about copyright strikes. So it's like a win-win and win, because we also get a CD album from, you know, Peter Gregg. So that's definitely a win. David's asking if Doc got his hands on the ZVE 10 yet. I don't think so, because he hasn't mentioned it, but I could be wrong. Says, I was curious since I see your shoe rack back there. Oh, the shoe rack's on the door, but just to the right outside of like frame here is where the camera's at. Peter says, mark your chat spot with the stars is easier to find. Okay, I will do that next time. The thing is, as soon as I put in the link, it just rushed it right to the bottom, and it was the first time I had done that. But it's a learning experience. Says, I'm back cooking dinner and listening. And he said, no ZVE 10 yet. It comes Monday. Ken, how are you doing, sir? Saying hi. Okay, he says, back to cooking. Back to the Mac. Can't wait to see your video on it. John's here. How are you doing, sir? Coffee Talking Tech. Look at that. Check that out. Look at that, Peter. Like, you know, it comes full circle. It says, I've been following Peter Gregg for a long time. He's helped me make some important camera decisions. Peter Gregg's helped out so many people. It's amazing. And the fact that, like I mentioned before, he's probably one of the first ones to see something in me, even me before that I saw it myself. So I will always be indebted to Peter Gregg for, you know, helping me get to where I'm at right now. and look at this. I'm just like ecstatic. Like, so if you guys that are here, if you've forgotten, because I always forget to mention it, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. If you're, hanging out, make sure you do that. And but still, I just want to go back to thanking Peter Gregg, because without him giving a certain push, and it's all encompassing, like it's just a little bit from everywhere. But I would have to say that before I saw the potential in myself and in this channel, I think he saw it, and like I said, I will forever be indebted for Peter Gregg. Todd Killian. Oh, Todd, you know what? I think I was talking to Tom about this, that you needed to meet Peter Gregg. I was like, you with the Christmas room, like, Peter, you need to speak to Todd, and Todd, you need to speak to Peter. This needs to happen. As soon as you guys start talking, you'll know why. So it's just Christmas all year round. This is gonna be awesome. This is David Foster, who used to be with Live Streaming Pros. Used to be on the live stream there. Okay, so Peter's recognizing. He knows who he is. That's awesome. Look at this. That's so dope. Oh, man. Okay. All right, so we're at the end of the comments for right now. So now I'm gonna get into the live streaming. So right off bat, let me go to that the Pelzer cam. Okay. All right, first I'm gonna say that this little doohickey, what I'm touching right here, this is called my cage. Way before I had even thought of YouTube, just me doing my computer work, this is basically the ideal setup that I had. And this wasn't something that was found at any store. I had to go to IKEA into like the garage department and basically make this entire thing on a DIY. I just found the parts, but because of it, it is completely modular. I'm gonna scoot over to the side. Let's see. From here to here, as Doc says, we always gotta have a tape measure close. So got my tape measure. Okay, so it's 47-inch desk, and when I first got it, it was actually a sitting desk with shelves underneath, and I had this shelf right here lower, and I had a 32-inch television as my monitor. It sat in the center, and I had my PC computers to it, my PlayStations, my Xboxes. As you can see up here, this is my homage shelf. Let me see if I can cast a little bit more light to it. Right there up front, we have the original PlayStation X. That is like the original from like 1997 that I still have. That one I've totally modded it out with mod chips and controllers, changed the LED lights. PlayStation 2 right next to it, that's the slim model. PlayStation 3 slim model. Oh, I'm covering it with the light. Good job, Lewis. All right. And then even the PlayStation 4 at the end. I was able to put my extra camera boxes and accessories up on the upper hand side. And right here, this is my Windows PC. This is the Randall Tower. This is a 2700X CPU with 64 gigs RAM, 3 terabytes of memory. It's a monster machine, and I basically just use it for Twitch gaming. I play Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII that came on this gray PlayStation, and probably my favorite game of all time. That is what I'm playing right now for the last time on Twitch. I call it the Final Fantasy VII because it's going to be the last time that I ever play that game. And this is, okay, let me see if I can get out of the way. Okay, so right here we have my microphone. This is a Samsung MTR 101. This is connected via XLR straight here to my DBX 286S, and that I have set up with the noise gate and all the bells and whistles. That audio is coming back out to my audio mixer. So channel 1 is the microphone, but this is kind of like my little secret sauce because I really can't handle latency when it comes to the audio kickback. So I'm hearing a direct source from my microphone and coming from here. And the way that I have it is that the audio comes in here to channel 1 to the microphone. The iPad that I have right here, actually, you know what? Now that we've seen this angle, I'm going to go grab the camera. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here we have, this is, like I said, this is my 3rd generation iPad. As you can see, the old school 32 pin connector, plastic home button, and my soundboard. Right here I have the audio mixer. Like I said, I have the microphone connected to the DBX 286X. So that right here is connected as my channel 1. My sound effects is channel 2. And then I have all of my music being played through this USB stick. That is my channel 3 and 4. I can turn on and off my music on like a simple mute there. So that is very convenient. The audio that's coming out of here is where it gets a little tricky because I have a lot of extra cables. I have the audio kicking straight into the computer and also kicking out into the speakers, which are the PreSonus. I believe those are the 3.5 inches. They're working really well for me as far as the audio quality, but they're also working as an audio controller. So the sound that's coming out of the computer, so like any audio that I'd be getting from a website, anything at all, it'll be coming out of those speakers. Any sound that's coming out of here from my microphone or the music that I'm playing is also going into those speakers so that I can hear them, and also being split into the computer's microphone in. At the same time, I have like I said, I have the cable that's shooting the music in here, so the signal that you're hearing, I'm also hearing out of these speakers. And because I'm mixing that audio through the speakers themselves to so I'm getting the audio from the computer and the audio from the mixer, and they're all coming out of the speakers themselves. That's where you see that little cable right there, which is my headphones, and it gives me the ability to mix all of that music through the speakers. And now that one cable that goes out is the one that's going into my ear, which is giving me the ability to hear the music, to hear any audio that's coming from the computer, and hearing myself on the microphone without any latency latency. And I'm hearing everything. So exactly what I hear in my ear is exactly what's going out to you guys. So that makes it, that's the way that I want it, so that I can hear all the sound effects and make sure that is correct when I press it, and make sure that it actually sounds. Okay. Whew. I might need some water. So underneath here is one of my latest accessories. I just had this for 2 weeks. This is the Stream Deck 15 key Mark II, and this thing has been the biggest game changer. I mentioned it last week. Not only is it great for streaming, but absolutely phenomenal for video editing and just overall production on my computer. It has become my companion, and as you can see, it sits right in front of my keyboard because I've actually been using it a lot more than my keyboard. And this is where we get to my Apple stack, because that's what I call it. It's an M1 Mac Mini at the bottom. On top of it, I have the 2012 i5 mini with 16 gigs RAM. That was basically the computer that I upgraded from to the M1. And as you can see, it's powered off. It's been off for 3 weeks now, and is really giving me the idea that I'm gonna just sell it because it's sitting on top of my M1 as an ornament. I can definitely use the space, so it's really got me contemplating on that because I'm not using it, and the mini M1 has been so incredible that it has allowed me to no longer need or have the need to go back to it. Now, on top of it right there, I have this is my MacBook Pro 15-inch. That's my photography camera. As you can see, I have the LaCie hard drive. It's Velcroed on there, but that's really not so much my live stream. That's just my desk setup. I have my external hard drives that are connected here, and I'm just gonna kind of open the top here so that you can see that I have external hard drives and my what's the name of it? QGM USB dongle, and I have it just like velcroed to the top so that it doesn't move. That's also the USB connection to my HDMI for my second monitor, because that's what I have here. 2 televisions that are set up as my displays. Let me put this back. Oh. And now we're gonna go to my actual cameras or to my lighting setup. I really like the fact that it's wireless right now because it allows me to do something that I was never able to do, which was actually show my lights. This is a light that I made myself. And I've told a lot of people before that because my entire desk is metal, I was able to make everything hang off of magnets. So if I wanted to move this, I just disconnect. The magnets are there. And that's how I hang up my lights on my setup, so that when I'm not live streaming, I'm easily able to just take that down and move it out of the way so that I can kind of get back my desk space, because it all tends to be cluttered, and I try to do the best. This is my Monster can for my Monster Energy, and then just behind it is my desk fan that I was able to make out of a old broken ATX power supply. So they have quiet fans, and I was able to just make a desk fan that makes no noise, that gets picked up from my microphone. And I think that's it. Yeah, the other light that I have is actually an IKEA desk lamp. As you can see, even the grids that I have on them, I made out of foam, because necessity is the mother of all invention. You know, there's ability to purchase things, but then also space is a limitation for me. Hanging off of the back, as you can see, tripodless. There's nothing here. I have my A6100 Sigma 16mm f1.4. Then off to the right, way over there. Well, I think the other angle. I'm gonna put the camera back. Give me a second. And as I was trying to finish up, that here hanging as well off of my cage is where I have my Tom Cam. That is my Sony A7R2 with the Sigma, the Sony 55mm f1.8. And I think I ran across everything as fast as I can. So now I'm gonna go back to the chat to see if you guys have any questions. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah. I should have. I definitely should have put the star, Peter. Because I lost the track. Okay. Oh, wow. A lot. Yeah, so, okay. I'm still talking about PlayStation, so. Okay, so we're back. Okay. David says, such a cool setup. Thank you. I didn't realize you had this channel, David. Just subscribe. Nice. Yeah, David's awesome, and he streams so much. Learned so much from David, and yeah, Doc, if you're in here, you know David was the one that enlightened me to the fact that Amazon streams at 720, so that's why he has a completely separate OBS system or computer setup to only stream at that lower resolution to Amazon, while he's restreaming with other on other platforms in higher quality. David says, nice, PlayStation X. Yeah, and I have more than one. I actually have 3 PlayStation originals. I have a couple more here, and oh, I didn't even go up there, because up there I have 2 original Xboxes, the original Xbox, like the original, the black box. I have 2 more PlayStation 3s, 2 Xbox 360s, 2, what are those? Are GameCubes, 2 Nintendo Wii's, and my original first shipment, you know, like model number 001 PlayStation 2, you know, the old school with like the hard drive and the brick and the little standing tower. That was all from like back in the day. I always wanted to just, you know, pass that over to my son and have him start on the older, you know, tech, so to speak, just so he knew where it came from. Because I also feel that, you know, growing up in the 80s, or being born in the 80s, growing up in the 90s, so on and so forth, just grew up in such a great era for technology, because I grew up coming from Puerto Rico. We still had rotary phones, you know, and I remember when we first got Walkmans, going from tape to CDs to MP3s to downloadable content. It's just so amazing to me the way that I've been fortunate enough to see technology progress in these past 40 years of my life. Has been extremely interesting, and to see that it's only like increasing exponentially, it's just so crazy. I can't imagine where we're going to be 20 years from now, you know. Says, you guys make me want to set up a second angle. Oh, Heather, that's funny. That would be awesome that you start getting into switching cameras. Says Heather, the B&A trip just gets better. Says, I don't think I've ever seen your studio. Says, do you have a YouTube channel where you post videos too? Heather told me to say she loves the retro gaming stuff, but she's ironically playing Tetris right now and can't type it herself. That's so cool. Oh yeah, man. You know what? Let me get it. Let me just get it. No reason to talk about it. Retro gaming at its finest. The original Game Boy. Kirby's Dream Land. And the original Game Boy. A story. This one's a little bit sad. This wasn't my first or like my original Game Boy like I had. I did have my original, the one that I had when I was a child, with a bunch of games. I had the original like Mario's. I had this one, Kirby's Dream Land. I had all the Pokemons, like the Pokemon Yellow, Blue, and Red. You know, the original colors. Um, I had a bunch of games: Metroid, Tetris. And when I had the brick and mortar business, when we were doing phone repairs here, I had them on display. You know, it was like a conversation piece. When anyone would come into the shop, you know, they would look at all of my old retro games and all of my old systems, TurboGrafx 16, a bunch of stuff. Well, it was unfortunate that we got broken into, and that was majorly the stuff that they took of value. They just took all my like retro gaming stuff, and it really sucked. Like I said, that was stuff that I was trying to hold on for my boy, but it is what it is. But I used to have all of that stuff. I used to have a lot more. 8-bit for the win. Says, can you set up the great tech to help? His name is Tom Bucky. Davis says, I wish YouTube still had a way that you can see and sub to people right from chat. Wow, you see, I didn't even know that that was an option. And that just brings up another thing when it comes to this conversation, because I don't remember who I was talking to. But, you know, I'm kind of like the new wave of YouTube, because I did not come from like watching the Casey Neistats and stuff like that. You know, I haven't been on the platform to that capacity for that long. Then I hear a lot of these stories where people are saying like, I've been, you know, watching YouTube for years, and I'm like, I haven't. You know, I was fortunate enough to say that once I saw the potential in the platform and realized what can be done with it, I think that I didn't take too long to jump into it, you know, like head first. And look at where we're at, man. Saturday night live streams. I think I lost count. I know we're at 30 something consecutive weeks in a row. And it's Club Camera Junkie. This is what we do on Saturday nights. David says, wow, what a setup. I think I did pretty good. You know, I've been implementing it, increasing it little bit by little bit. Like I said, the latest implementation was the Stream Deck, and I'm really like beating myself up because I should have gotten this a lot sooner. This makes not only live streaming but so many things so much easier that it is just amazing. But yeah, I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. Yep, because talking about that, the DBX 286S, I got this used for $100, but it was like brand new in the box. But I got it on the used market off of Facebook Marketplace. It's probably one of the best deals. That's because Tom says, I remember Doc recommending the DBX recently. And yeah, it's been the best thing for me. I tried dealing with audio loopback and a lot of things like that to try to see if I can get some noise gates and things like that, excuse me, through the audio. But like I said, my biggest issue is the latency. So having the microphone feed go in through the computer, then be processed by the computer, to then come out and then have me listen to it, there was such a huge delay that was inevitable that I was like, that's definitely not the way for me. So I guess me being old or stuck in my ways, I definitely prefer analog, and having zero latency monitoring is extremely vital for me. So that's why I'm very happy that I was able to find the way around this setup, because I even have the ability to add another source of music through the speakers, because that's what was like the key thing for me, that the speakers ended up being kind of like my interface, my medium, where it just allows me to listen to it. Because if I were to unplug the headphone jack right now, like these speakers would just start blasting the music that you're hearing, what I'm saying, and anything that would be coming out of the computer. So it's all mixed well coming out of the speakers, and the processing that is like majorly being done is really not being done by the computer itself. The computer is only doing two things, which is receiving a signal of music and sending the signal out, and that's it. So instead of me plugging in my headphones to the headphone jack in the mixer, that would limit me to only be hearing the information that's coming from my end, like the zero latency monitoring going out. But anything that the computer would make, I wouldn't be able to hear. So for example, the setup without these speakers, if I were to jump on a Zoom meeting, I wouldn't be able to really hear what's going on in the Zoom meeting at the same time as speaking into the Zoom meeting, because I would have to have my speakers down so low, and I would have to choose whether I would be listening to the computer through the headphones or my microphone. And with this setup, I'm able to just combine everything, and now I only have one headphones that allows me to do Zoom meetings, live streams. It just allows me to do everything, and I only have one cable to connect, which makes things so much easier. Everyday Tech is in the house, saying hello to everyone. It says this setup has got Meet Kevin vibes. Wow. Listen, thank you for that. I appreciate the compliment. I've seen Meet Kevin set up. Nothing like that. Like I fall, short in comparison to his setup. He's got. Look, I've even just tried to wrap my head around what he's done, and mine I know is modest, but I do appreciate the sentiment. That is a very nice compliment. Okay, so you see, even David just said, it says, OMG, Kevin's setup is insane. Yeah, like mine, doesn't compare. But thanks. It says, my dream setup, turnkey content creation machine. I'm pretty happy with what I got right now. The one thing that I haven't really been doing a lot of is actually like Twitch gaming. And that's just because of the fact that I don't think, for me, I have a lot of things to do, and there's like still a lot of things that I want to accomplish, a lot of content that I still want to make. So even though I know I need to take some downtime, I feel like I'm so far behind on what I want to accomplish with my channel that it's hard for me to sit down and play a video game. Even though I have the stuff, I even have a USB adapter, or just like an extension running from that Windows PC underneath the desk, and it meets me right here, so that if I want to plug anything in, I don't have to go over there. I just plug it in right underneath my desk. And usually what I do is I just connect my PlayStation controller to that USB hub so that I can play the video games. I don't even have to move anything. I just sit down right here and just get to it. And still, with making everything easy, I don't play the games. So, okay, he says, my dream setup, a turnkey content creation machine. Let me just ask you, what programs are you using? Because if it's one thing that I can honestly call a turnkey content creation machine, is probably Ecamm, which is what I'm using to run this entire live stream. But it gives you, like, I know OBS and things like that gives you the ability to record the same way to your hard drive, but Ecamm gives you the ability to do all of these things that we're seeing here, and On top of that, it has a pause feature with the recording, which is like ideal. It brings me back to the days of dealing with like Super VHS, where that's how you would kind of do your pre-edits to save the amount of footage that you had available on the tape. So you would literally just like pause a recording, move a shot and then just unpause. And that ability through Ecamm, I think, is just phenomenal when it comes to creating content. And it's, to me, probably the closest to what you just mentioned, which is like a turnkey content creation machine. It says, OMG, you're not kidding, Patrick. Incredible. It's nice. I have a few studio tour videos on my channel. I'm lucky because I have help, by the way, of Tom Buck. Yeah. Not everyone has it, but you do have a huge advantage of having such a great tech, in-house. This is my Apple stack. Nice one. Okay, that's where we're at. Oh, so far behind. In Portugal, just watched the studio build for Benji's studio. Job well done. Did it take longer than 3 hours though? Yeah, I think so. Says, I just bought a new laptop. It's awesome. Which one did you get? It says, you just bought a new laptop. Which one did you get? Did you go M1 or are you still Windows? Hey, only because they didn't order what I told them to. Ended up being about 3 days. I kind of remember that, David. You were up in Seattle, and I think at the same time you did a podcast with them. I have the Mac Mini M1 in the cart waiting on affiliate payday. Okay, well that's good. Just as long as that's what you're waiting on. My recommendation, if anyone's thinking about pulling the trigger, I'd say pull the trigger. I've had this conversation as well before. With chip shortages and everything that's being delayed, the way that it's being delayed, I think you need to think about getting your hands on what you can while you can. And, that old saying, don't count your chickens till they're hatched. I pulled the trigger on the base model 8 gig M1. I highly recommend it. It is stupid fast. It is stupid fast it just depends on what you're doing. But if you're doing anything like video editing, podcast editing, anything on the creation space, I always recommend, Mac over Windows. And this thing has just increased my workflow 50% or more. And this is just the base model, that it was just like, as soon as you get it and you start working with it, as soon as you realize, like, I should have done this sooner. Like, what was I waiting for? And that's where I would leave that with you. Like, what are you waiting for? If it is just an affiliate link, get that. Get yourself the M1, the one that's available right now. Don't worry about hypothetical MXs, M2Xs, or anything like that. Work with what you can, because the amount of time that you're gonna save from right now until those computers are even available, you'd kick yourself. You'd kick yourself if you realize how much time you would waste between now and that point. Says Dan Lewis, you just built your own secret lab. Well, you know what the thing is, like, I come to think about it, and when I bought this desk cage setup, I bought this at IKEA, I think like 12 years ago, which I'm not saying that there wasn't, but I don't think there was that much as like a niche or a genre of people, having desk setups, especially at home. This is something that I wanted for myself. Like right now, I was able to hang these 2 television monitors off of the pillars off the side, so I can squeeze the images like as close to the center, or even bring them out, because they're also like unarticulating arms, and I can widen them out a lot more I can bring like this television. Well, actually, you know what? I can show it. I keep forgetting because it's new, but I have the Pelzer cam. As you can see, I can take this monitor like this and literally just bring it out to my hard desire. But if I were to bring it out like that, it's actually blocking the camera that's behind it, so now that can't see anything. But as you can see, like from behind, that it is on an articulating arm there, and they're both matching arms, matching heights, so that I can do whatever I want with them. Okay, let's go back to the main camera. It says you can't go. I have one sitting on the back of my set, still hoping to find a use for it. Got to test eCam. Are you talking about the M1? I think he is. I think he's really not using his M1, so that could be what he's talking about. He goes, dude, I love that fan idea. I have some PC case fans lying around, and just when it gets so hot when I stream, and I need to do that. Actually, I think that's probably one of my favorite ideas, because most of the case fans for the power supplies tend to be quiet, quieter than just standard case fans. I have some case fans that, even though are big, make a lot of noise when you juice them up to 12 volts. That one, that was a lot of fun for the build. I was able to deconstruct a 5 amp, or is it amp? No, a 5 watt charger, kind of like a phone charger, to power up that fan so that it wouldn't kick on full speed, and keep it at a low RPM so that it wouldn't make like that whizzing sound and still give air, so that the microphone wouldn't pick up that extra sound, especially when I was trying to remove the fan noise from my computer itself. So I didn't want to add another fan noise. So I was able to deconstruct that and just basically apply it to the case itself. So the way that I have it is that the original power button for the power supply is the power button for the fan, and it still plugs in with a big, like standard power supply cable, even though I'm only using 5 volts. So I have that connection converted with the power switch to that little like phone type of connector, and then that's what's actually sending the power over to the fan. So absolutely love it. It came out pretty good, man. And that's just stuff that I able to do off the top of my head. Like, let me not even show you what I did with my phone case for the Pelzer cam, because I basically built a little like matte box so that the lights that are all bouncing around here don't just get all over the lens, and then we get a washed out image. It says nice. I hear it's the beast. I'm still using the 2016 iMac i7. Yes, it is a beast. M1. If take it from me, if you're thinking about pulling the trigger, you're doing yourself a disservice by thinking about it. If you have the ability, and you can, even if it's, like I said, the base model, get it. Because what I'm thinking about doing right now is that I had my original as the backup computer, so I'm probably gonna sell it, and what I'm gonna do is probably just save up to get me the better version of the M1 with maybe more internal storage, maybe like a terabyte, because I got the 512 8GB, so I'll probably get like the terabyte 16 gig, and then start using this one as my backup and go from there, because I think after that I won't need another computer. Yeah, I'm really thinking I might even sell my MacBook Pro, but I still think that I would need something to be mobile. So, but it just depends, because it just depends. newer computers are coming out, and the M1s, I am a complete fanboy for them because of the way that they work right now. We have 46-inch fans, or 4 and 6-inch fans put together for desk fans. Okay. If you get here, you're all caught up. No, sir. Like by the time that I got to this comment, John, I'm still behind. It says, I'm jonesing for the M1 Mini. I'm interested in seeing what's next for the MX. Listen, I sort of said, like, if you're waiting for it, get your hands on the M1 the way it is, because worst case scenario is that when the new ones come out, you could always sell it. It's not like there isn't going to be a market for it, you know. And if you look at it, that the time that you're going to, or the money that you would lose from purchasing it now and the time that you sell it, just consider that as a rental fee until the newer, better one comes out. But you would be doing yourself a disservice if you're waiting for the M2s and you're not already working on M1, because it's also going to be a learning curve for the new system and everything like that. So I think personally I would definitely do it on the M1, so that when the M2 comes out, it's going to just be like that much better, because it's not like jumping into the new system. All of the programs are going to be running or be better optimized. I believe even Premiere now is optimized for M1, even though I don't use it. Final Cut Pro for the win. And yeah, that's the way I feel. I think that the time that you would gain, or the money that you would lose if you were to sell it used when the other versions come out, I would just see that as that's my rental cost for 6 months to a year before those computers come out. Scott Rogers is in the house. How are you doing, sir? Welcome. Thank you for stopping by, as always. He says, Scott, did you bring food? Always talking about food. He says, I have popcorn. Oh, yeah. I'm an 80s kid, Lewis. LOL. Yeah, man. You know, when I was a kid, like, this has always been my nature. So here's a funny story. Talking about Walkman. I remember being a child and I got a Sony Walkman, the yellow one with like the clip. I think it was trying to make it like waterproof or something. And like you would put the cassette in, you would close the top, and then you would like close it shut, like clamp it. Cassette player. And I got it for Christmas. And as a child, you don't know how much your parents spent on your gifts or things like that. I had no idea. But I had the curiosity of knowing how the Walkman worked. So Christmas morning, I unwrapped my gift. Christmas afternoon, on my bed, I have the entire Walkman completely disassembled, just like flat lay on my bed. And my father walks in to just basically like have a conniption, because he's thinking, I spent all this money on this electronic device and my kid just destroyed it. So that's what he was calling me. He's like, he destroyed it, the destroyer. And it wasn't about like an hour later, I had it all put back together and I was listening to my music because the curiosity was there, and I just needed to learn how the inside of the Walkman worked. And it was to my benefit, because whenever I did have a problem with the tapes being eaten up or anything that you would say this Walkman is no good, I was able to open it up, diagnose the problem, and fix it myself, and continue to use that Walkman. And I had that thing for so many years. What's up, D Niman in the house? David, are you stalking Lewis? I love it. He says he is, and I love it. It says, wait, are you stalking me? And D saying hi to John. Rotary phones. Lewis, did you see that video of the dad challenge and his son and a friend to dial numbers on a rotary phone? They couldn't figure it out. No, I did not see that. I would love to. That seems hilarious. Oh my, they couldn't. Yeah. You know, to think about it, it wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense. Well, I don't know. I guess it's tough for me because I grew up in that era. So it was second nature for me to see, like, you know, dialing every number and how you to, like, I still talk about, you know, I remember being a child and only having one phone number for your household. So remembering people's numbers were a lot easier because it was one phone number that you could remember for an entire family of people. Now you're trying to remember multiple phone numbers for one individual. So it's totally different. It's totally different. It says, I am David. I feel we're legally bound now. D saying hi to Tom and Heather. I thought you brought Krispy Kreme donuts, Peter Gregg. Oh, let's not talk about Krispy Kremes. I've been good, man. I've been good. I haven't had them for over a month. What day exactly, I can't tell you. But I've been good. I don't know how long that streak is going to hold up for now that we're talking about it. John says, I'm stalking myself. It's driving myself nuts. He says, ooh, Tom has one of those. I think we're talking about the Game Boy. I never had a Game Boy. Oh my God, Heather, you know what? You would have been a totally different person with the Game Boy and Tetris. Because you love Tetris and I love Tetris on the Game Boy. You know, I remember the best game that I ever had playing Tetris, I got to level 10. And when you get to level 10, these bricks are just coming down so fast that I knew it was getting like towards the end of the day. And I'm like, I can't play all night. And luckily for me, I had external power. You know, like I had it connected to the wall. So I was able to bring down like the bricks to a manageable level down towards the bottom so they weren't high. And at level 10, I paused it. And I just left it because it was my best game ever. You know, I'm like, these things, like, being honest, especially before you can save memory, you know, to sit there through 10 levels plus of Tetris, it was like my all-time best score. And what I did was I paused it and I left it on the charger and I left it like on the nightstand and I said, I'm gonna get to it tomorrow. So, you know, go to sleep the next day, I wake up, I see it that it's still on, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna get myself ready. So, you know, you have breakfast, and this is me as a child playing Tetris, you know, like I just like left it there, had breakfast, did my thing, and then tried to mentally get myself up to like the task of being at level 10 and how fast these bricks are going to start coming down as soon as I press the start button to initiate the game again. And as I can't tell you, as soon as for those of you who don't know, like the original Tetris, whenever you would lose, it would make like this stupid fart sound, like so as soon as I pressed start, I didn't even see a brick. As soon as I saw, like, as soon as I was like, okay, day 2, I'm gonna press start. As soon as I hit start, that just said, and I heard the little fart sound, and I was like, that's it. Like, there was no reason for me to pause it. I should have just saved it the day before, played it as far as I could, because I don't know if I would have ever gotten to level 11, but that's what I did, and that's my Tetris story. I always found that so funny. I was like, what was I thinking? Like, there was no way. It's like trying to go from like a dead stop to full sprint, and that was innocent stuff as a child, innocent fun in games. It says the OG Game Boy was the first thing I bought with my own money. Easter Sunday 1995 came with Link's Awakening. That is so funny, right? Like those things, like they hold, and I really mean like the first thing that you buy for yourself as a kid, like that you save money and stuff like that. Those things always hold such a special place in your heart. I love it. That's why, like, I remember. Yeah, I remember that I don't know, how old was I? I guess I was like probably like 14, going on 15. Um, I wanted the Nintendo 64 that was coming out. Nobody, like, it wasn't gonna happen. Like, my parents were like, if maybe you and your brother want to like go in together to get the unit, but me getting you that system by yourself, but like it wasn't gonna happen. So I ended up just buying it for myself, and that's the one that I still have. The the green version from Donkey Kong with the yellow cartridge and the expansion pack, and I still have it. The funny thing is that these systems are still working, like that they're still up and running and working. So that's impressive all on its own. Okay, so everybody's saying hi to each other, saying hi to D. Let me see where this is. When I hear retro gaming, I think Atari. What about ColecoVision? Huh? Because I go back, man. I go back to the days of Pong and ColecoVision. It says, what a great group in here. Yes, I have to agree, sir. Such amazing, like, I'm sitting here with a smile on my face to see so many amazing creators and so many cool, like, people in chat hanging out on a Saturday night, with MrCameraJunkie on the CameraJunkie live stream. Like, this is the best. YouTube used to have direct messaging system within the platform for a hot minute. That makes sense. Reading the YouTube formula book and realizing that this platform was first set up as a dating site makes sense that the direct messaging was such a big part. But I feel that it's still a big part. The fact that we can message each other, whether it's through comments or anything like that, is why I absolutely love YouTube, because you're actually, like, right now we're having a conversation live with so many incredible people in chat, and that's stuff that only happens like through the chat, through this platform. And yeah, my favorite. Like, I don't see where you can create such a profound connection with your audience besides going live on this platform. I just really haven't seen it. That's why I'm so addicted to live streams, and that's why we're here. Like, so absolutely love it. It didn't stay for very long. I don't know if that ever existed, Heather. I know about the sub from chat. There's so many things, like, going back to it, I'm such a new YouTuber that I'm thinking that all of these things are just like the way that they always have been. I always stay amazed on the way that things used to be. Like, I hear Roberto Blake talking about YouTube being just a website where you had to go to find these videos, and there was no, like, notification system. So that really goes to show you how far, because my entire experience with YouTube, basically has been based around the app. So, my entire YouTube experience has basically majorly been based around the YouTube application being on phones, because I was fixing phones before I was into YouTube. David says he has to jet. Chat later. Great stream. Thank you, sir. I thought my ears were burning. I'm not sure what. I guess we were talking about you? Okay, So we're saying bye all. Everybody's saying bye to David. I think we all talk about Tom. Tom's name is probably always being referenced. Right now as we speak, Keith Pelsner is probably harassing an employee of some camera shop asking him about Tom Buck. Like, that's for real. Hey Melanie, how are you? Welcome. Says, I talk about you in a good way all the time, Peter. Likewise, I would have to say that. I would have to concur. Tom always has the best things to say about Peter, and I would have to concur. I would have to say I agree, and I do the same. Says, that's why I love the Elgato Wave mic, real-time monitoring, and not just for the mic, but for all the PCs audio. Nice. That to me makes such a huge difference. So the Elgato Wave mic does that. Gonna have to look into that, because it's funny that you mentioned that. I think that's the mic that. Is that it? No, it's not the Wave. I think it's the Rode one. I have to check it out. So many different microphones, and I know cameras. I'm still learning microphones. I love my Wave XLR2. Sly Reader's in the house saying hi, Lewis, and Saturday Night Junkie. Sorry I'm late. I've been listening on the drive home. Never late. I'm just glad that you're here. You know, talking about that, Sly, let me show you something, because I did not mention this before. So let's see here. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, that's the Pelsner cam. I want to show you something, Sly. This right here, that's your letter. And your letter sits on my desk there every day, and every once in a while I read it and I thank you for it, because it is a big part or piece of inspiration for me. So I just want to thank you for that. I wanted to let you know that's part of my desk setup, your letter to me, and I appreciate you, and thank you. So Heather's saying hi to Melanie. Ken's got to go as well. We're all saying hi and bye. See you, Ken. Use the game on Twitch. I still want to do that. Not used to. I do. Like, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to do it Sundays. But, you know, like I said before, I'm trying to find it a way where it's... I think the reason why I'm doing it on Twitch is so that my video gaming has multi-purpose, and I just don't feel guilty about, like, spending an hour or two, you know, playing a video game. So I would rather play a video game on Twitch and then make it like semi-productive, because even though it's something that I'm doing for fun, kind of like YouTube that I started for fun, if it has any potential of being anything in the future, it will have potential if I'm actually live streaming on Twitch, and it will have 0% chance of being anything if I don't. So I have been doing that, and that's been my latest thing. Like I said, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII for the last time, because they made a remake for the PlayStation 4. Haven't touched it because I love the original so much, but I also know that if I play the new updated version, it's going to be really hard for me to go back to the original. So I'm playing it for one last time. I'm doing it with a guide, you know, like with one of those game guides or a walkthrough, so that I leave no stone unturned. And that's why I'm calling it, or I've called it, the Final Fantasy VII, because it's going to be the last time that I play the game. I've played that game so many times over, and I beat it a bunch of times, but I've never beat it to its entirety in one go. You know, I beat certain characters one time that I played it, other characters in other, but this time I'm gonna like leave no stone unturned and I'm gonna play it like one last time. The idea that I have for it is that anyone who wants to, watch me play the game on Twitch is not only just gonna watch me play the game, but actually be interactive with me. You can actually download the same walkthrough that I'm referencing, so that through chat we can have a conversation on what would be the next step that we take, so that we make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned. So that's what I've been doing on Twitch. I have like 3 or 4 times that I've actually been able to go on there and play, but I'm trying to carve out some more time to do that as well, because we all need downtime. But like I said, I kind of need to give myself an excuse to relax. Sounds weird, but that's just the way I am. Sly says Charles Lewis doesn't sing. He gives me one of those award-winning smiles, lights up the whole. I'm sorry. I wish I could sing. I'm probably gonna end up doing it one day, but maybe I need some liquid courage to help with that. Because that's funny. I guess like it just all depends. I just don't feel that I'm a singer, but maybe if I put a little practice to it, I could do something someday. So never say never, right? I sing to Aiden all the time, but he covers his ears when I do so. So that's probably one of the indicators that lets me know that I'm not doing that good, But I still love my boy. He'll straight up just be like, "Oh, I miss him. I miss Aiden." Sorry, guys. Okay, let's go. A game on Twitch with senior citizens. I play Pac-Man and Super Mario. There's a lot of retro gamers on there. So what I found that was really interesting was when I opened up like the Twitch account and I put my like link there, or my description, that I was going to be playing Final Fantasy VII, that there was a community there of like over 300,000 people who are interested in the Final Fantasy VII original game. That was like, that's super interesting. But it goes to show you the rapport that game held for such a long time, to the point where they remade it. So many people loved that game that came out in 1997 that it was 20 years past that point, and they remade the entire game with today's technology because of how beloved the game and the characters from the game were. It says Lenovo Legion 5 with a Windows 10 Ryzen 7 5800 RTX 2060 16 gig DDR 3200 1TB SSD. Love it. Okay. Oh well, I thought that was up on the screen while I was reading it. That seems to be his system, and he's running PC. It says so cool seeing the behind the scenes. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Oh, Brian, how you doing, sir? So I'm eagerly waiting for the rumored 14-inch MacBook, especially if it comes in blue. Oh well, yeah. How can I say that? Like, did they ever make the Mac? Oh, but it wouldn't be a Pro. That's the whole thing. I don't think they ever made MacBook Pro and the Pro series in colors. If I remember, the white laptops are just called MacBooks, and that was the difference. That the silver with the aluminum finish and everything, that's what made it Pro. But it'll be cool to see if they come out with M1X 14-inch in blue. That would be right up your alley. Okay, so it says M1X. Yes. Well, it's good, but I would take the X off, because the X is just, don't worry about it. Like I said, if you're on the fence, get the M1 before the M1X is available. It says time to clock off for the night. Take care, everyone. No idea how to party animals stay up so late. Coffee, sir. Coffee. Caffeine. Coffee addiction. Say night to Tom. It says we stay up late because we take a senior citizen's nap. That's funny because I tend to try to take a nap when my baby boy takes a nap, because sometimes it's the only time that I have to take a break. Kali's in the house saying hi. Do you think Chance the Rapper looked like one of the Mario brothers? It would have to be Mario. But you know what? He would need to take off the baseball cap and put on that Mario cap. And I think, that's funny that you John's off to bed too. Anita just coming in saying I'm late, but I wanted to say hi and show support. Well, thank you for stopping by. Says leave the singing to Peter. Just keep smiling. That's a deal. See, when it comes to that slide, we're 100%. We're on the same page. Kimbushka is saying evening. How you doing, Kim? And we're at the bottom of the chat. This is a lot of fun, but I don't know if you guys had any questions. Oh, here's something. I forgot this whole time I forgot to loop my background. Here, let's do this. Boom. Okay, so we lock it. Let's see if we switch page. Nope. Totally did not do that. Oh, I will fix that for next week. But I think that's it for this week. Thank you as always for hanging out. I hope you guys found it interesting the way that I've been able to set up my live stream setup and make the most out of the little bit that I've had. It's funny because when I first put together this desk and cage, the last thing that I thought I would be using it for was hanging cameras and lights and doing a live stream, and it's just leaving it to me to understand that it's all like everything has a reason, everything has a sense of purpose, and this being one of the vital parts of my live stream and what makes it convenient for me to just leave things semi set up, just to show you again the Pelzer cam, right? Like right now when I finish the stream, I'm gonna shut off the lights, I'm gonna take this down and that camera down, then squeeze these monitors together where I can flip up my laptop, and it's back to work. I try to remove as much as possible, but get this stuff out of the way. I'm glad that I was able to show you this behind the scenes, because I kind of just finished redoing this whole thing, and this is probably the cleanest that you'll see it, because I'm always working. Like, for example, right here, this is just a stack of iPhones that I'm working on. So that's basically like my reserve, and as soon as I'm done here, it's like to get the phones back on here to start doing repairs again. But this is pretty much it. This is the behind the scenes look of my live stream setup and what I'm able to do. And as always, I thank all of you for spending the time here hanging out with me. Your time is your most precious commodity, and the fact that you guys spend it here with me to hang out means the world. So as always, thank you very much to everyone. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys next week, and where we're going to be doing it all over again. Same time, same place. So, Hassan. Hey, what's up, sir? How you doing? You just heard me say bye, but thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. If you want, you can see a little bit of what I did through my my live stream setup behind the scenes. That angle that you just saw is my latest camera. It's my iPhone, and now I have a third camera angle that I'm able to go through. So now from the 50mm, and then also the extended like outside cam. So good stuff, and yeah, I like it. And this is the other thing for those of you who are wondering. This is a wireless application called Epoch Cam. It's from Elgato, and Elgato is what I use for pretty much my video capture card and now this Stream Deck. It's a very well-known company, and this application allows you to wirelessly connect your iPhones through an app and use them as an uninterrupted clean signal video camera that could be used as your main camera for a live stream, or like that, like I said, just hanging off wirelessly. And the application costs $8, so it's like a no-brainer. The fact that that's an application, not only like, not that it's only an application for this phone, no, it's an application, meaning I have other iPhones. If I wanted another angle, all I would have to do is download that application that I paid $8 for once on as many iPhones, as many devices as I want, and have them linked onto the network, and I would have the ability to use them just like I used this angle right here. So Epoch Cam for $8 is like a no-brainer, seeming that I can now put that on my iPad or any other iDevice and have it being a wireless streaming webcam. And I'm surprised because I really like the quality. I don't think it looks bad, so I think it looks very good for that fact. And yeah, and that's it. But as always, thank you everyone for stopping by. As a Puerto Rican, it usually takes me 2 or 3 times to actually say goodbye. But that is it. Like I said, I will see everyone next week. Hassan, thanks for stopping by. If you like, you can catch the replay so you can see what I did with my setup. But if not, then I will be seeing you next week. Like I say, same place, same time, 10:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see what we get into. If you have any questions about anything photography and you're watching the replay, make sure to leave them in the comments down below. Not only do I answer all of my comments on my videos, but I also could be bringing it up as a subject matter in a future live stream. So make sure that if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. And yeah, that's where I'll leave it. Have a great night. We'll see you all next week. Till next time. Bye, guys.